Two oil tankers that are already under United States sanctions are now reported to be transiting through the busy English Channel, continuing their voyage towards ports in Russia despite heightened Western enforcement of maritime restrictions. The tankers named Aria and Tia were tracked passing to the south of the British coastline on the 8th of January, heading onward toward Russian destinations at a time when such movements are drawing intense diplomatic and security scrutiny. Their latest course has sparked growing speculation that the United States and the United Kingdom could expand recent interdiction operations and attempt further high-profile seizures of vessels suspected of violating sanctions regimes. These concerns are sharpened by the fact that only days earlier the tanker Marinera was dramatically intercepted and captured in the North Atlantic by US forces, with British military assets providing critical tracking and operational support. Investigations show the vessel had previously sailed under the name Bella 1 and even reflagged under Russian registration, changes widely interpreted as an effort to evade sanctions monitoring and complicate any legal move to detain the ship. Reports describe a prolonged, roughly 2-week pursuit across the Atlantic in which US Coast Guard units shadowed the Bella 1, later called Marinera, carefully tracking its maneuvers before conditions were judged right for a boarding operation. The chase is said to have begun when the tanker initially sailed toward Venezuela and then refused a US request to allow a boarding team on board, a refusal that escalated the incident into a drawn-out high-seas standoff. Even after Moscow issued public warnings and objections, Washington proceeded with seizing the vessel only days after operations around Venezuela, signaling a determination to enforce sanctions despite Russian protests. At the same time, regional tensions rose further when the Russia-bound tanker Elbus was reported hit by a drone in the Black Sea on the 8th of January while it was sailing toward a Russian port. Following the reported strike, the Elbus altered course and requested assistance from the Turkish Coast Guard, highlighting both the vulnerability of shipping routes and Ankara's role as a key coastal state in the area. The Palau-flagged tanker is believed to have been targeted near its engine room by an unmanned aerial or vehicle, an attack profile that appears designed to disable propulsion while avoiding a catastrophic structural breach. Despite the strike, maritime sources say there has been no reported oil pollution and no injuries among the 25 crew members so far, easing immediate environmental fears even as security anxieties remain high. Against this fraught backdrop, Russia carried out a rare strike on Ukraine during the night of 8 to 9 January using a nuclear-capable missile system, a move seen as a deliberate show of strategic range and intimidation. The Russian Defense Ministry later confirmed that an Oreshnik missile had been used in an attack near the western city of Lviv, underscoring that even regions far from the front are not immune from long-range strikes. Russian forces also targeted the capital Kiev in the same wave of attacks, with initial reports indicating at least 4 people killed and more than 15 injured, adding another grim chapter to the war's civilian toll. Officials at the UK Defence Ministry have declined to set out any intentions on further ship seizures, carefully avoiding commentary that might hint at future interdictions or constrain operational flexibility. The British government has also stressed that it will not provide a running commentary on live vessel movements, arguing that operational security and diplomatic sensitivity require keeping such details out of the public domain. According to media investigations, the tanker Tia has repeatedly changed both its name and flag state, a pattern commonly associated with so-called shadow fleets that seek to obscure ownership and trading routes. Recent tracking data shows the vessel, under one of its newer identities, departed from a port in Turkey and set course toward a terminal in Russia's Gulf of Finland, deepening concern over sanctions-busting networks. The United States originally sanctioned Tia in 2024 after concluding that it had transported crude oil from Venezuela in defiance of restrictions, placing the ship firmly within Washington's enforcement crosshairs. The Aria, which currently sails under the flag of Barbados, was recently tracked between Plymouth and the island of Jersey as it made its way through the channel on a route believed to lead toward Russian ports. Aria is listed by the US Treasury as sanctioned for its alleged role in Russia's shadow fleet, accused of helping Moscow move oil outside official scrutiny and thereby undermining price caps and embargoes.